Before the FWP back in the 2010s, I used to ride my bicycle around in the backcountry. I called it backcountry mountain bike adventuring. Nowadays they just call it bike packing. And I used to write posts on Facebook, and I'd tell people I rode up a hill and I rode down a hill and the weather was this and the weather was that. But eventually I got kind of bored of that, so I started to make metaphorical monologues where I would become a character in a movie and explain that day's ride in a metaphor. Started out with, I am the kilometer-eating monster known as strong and durable, and I battled Godzilla. And Godzilla was the hill that I went up, and I just used the metaphor to explain my ride that day. And I liked it, so I did a bunch of those, and eventually I started to do ones as a cowboy, and that went something like this. Well, my ride from Elko over Elk Pass was like a cowboy western movie, then I reckon the trail was appropriately long and dusty. And so I would do those with, like, the mountains in the background and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. Didn't really catch on, but man, I had a lot of fun doing them. Today I'm not feeling particularly inspired for the FWP. So I'm going to share with you my favorite metaphorical monologue from the trail. It goes something a little like this. Well, I had to do a third cowboy western movie to complete the trilogy because Hollywood was throwing money my way. Then I reckon I'd like to tell the story of the wild horses. So happens I was riding the trail one day when I come to a bend in the trail. And beside the bend, a meadow. And in the meadow, a group of wild horses. As I approach, a large male assumes an aggressive posture, looks at me and kicks the ground a couple of times. So I slow up. I'm not looking for any trouble. But they start to gallop down the trail. So I come to a stop because I don't want to chase them. And they come to a stop in the meadow up ahead. So I continue on slowly around the bend. As I come around the corner, I find a young female grazing on my side of the trail, and a young male standing right in my way. Well, once again, that large male assumes an aggressive posture, looks at me and kicks the ground a couple of times. Well, that young horse, watching his daddy, looks at me, assumes that same aggressive posture, kicks the ground a couple of times just to let me know this is his trail. Well, I'm cool with that and all. I'm not looking for any trouble. I'm just passing through. So I try and gently shoo him and his sister aside. Well, that young horse is having none of it. Just stands there looking me in the eye, kicking the ground every once in a while. So I look over at his mother and I says, well, you know what I want now, don't you? And she looks at me and nods her head and trots off into the meadow a little. And the two young'uns follow suit, clearing the way. So I continue on slowly, keeping my eye on that large male as he keeps his eye on me. And I continue to meander, I continue to wander, and I continue to enjoy that sense of freedom I get when I ride on. So that is my favorite metaphorical monologue from the trail. And it's absolutely true. I came across a group of wild horses, and that young horse standing in my way on that trail was just the cutest thing ever. And that's why that is so special to me. And that is my favorite metaphorical monologue from the trail. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see y'all in that ring.